Gracias. Buenos días. I'm Jose Molina. Alongside my colleague Jose Castro, we're to provide an overview of the Puerto Rico space ecosystem.
I'm having a problem here with, okay, we got it.
Presentation is up, okay.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank Andreika for her invitation to participate at this symposium, so thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, so Jose Castro is a senior officer at the Department of Economic Development and Commerce of Puerto Rico. Over the past decade, he has been instrumental in growing the aerospace sector, co-founding the Puerto Rico Aerospace Cluster, and attracting major aerospace companies to the island. One of his focuses has been on developing a spaceport in Puerto Rico. My experience spans over a decade in space education and advocacy for a Puerto Rican spaceport. This includes participation in several space startups which offered valuable learning opportunities. Recently, I co-founded Puerto Rico Space Foundation and was governor appointed to the Puerto Rico Space Council. For our agenda, we're going to give you a brief overview of impacts of space application and space access to Puerto Rico. We're going to show who are the major Puerto Rican space stakeholders, attributes that we have in Puerto Rico for a space hub, an overview of the Puerto Rican economy and its synergy to the space industry. Jose Castro is going to show an overview of the Puerto Rico Aerospace Cluster. And I'm going to go ahead and show you space initiatives in Puerto Rico. Furthermore, Castro is going to finish with an overview of the spaceport, an introduction of the spaceport, and how the tax incentives apply to the spaceport. So,
Let's begin.
okay, let's begin. So space, as Marjorie said, it's the last frontier. Well, and her, she asked if it's the last frontier, and the question is no, it's not the last frontier. It is the fourth frontier for economic activity, joining land, water, and air as a medium for commerce, exploration, and innovation. It is now the active domain for entrepreneurship, scientific research, technological advancement, and strategic investment. Oh, sorry. So what are the impacts of space in Puerto Rico? So space-based technologies significantly impact our daily lives. Satellites are crucial for global communication, navigation, and environmental monitoring, among other applications. The economic value of these technologies is both substantial and increasing. As for advanced communication, to give you a brief history, Puerto Rico, dating back into the 1920s, was with the founding of the International Telephone and Telegraph, the ITT. And it was and hosted the first transatlantic cable from Europe to the United States. So now applying these space applications, we are situated as a ideal location for ground communications. Like Richard said, this is good for Internet of Things, smart infrastructure, and mobility, particularly through the Puerto Rico 5G zone and blockchain innovation lab. Furthermore, as for space access, Puerto Rico has the most popular orbit inclination, which is not only beneficial for launching space assets, but also for retrieval of space assets. We must understand that Puerto Rico, we don't have the space or the capacity to launch big rockets, but we can retrieve space assets and do the post-flight services. Furthermore, the future of space transportation is point-to-point, meaning that we can travel from Puerto Rico to anywhere in the world in 45 minutes, or vice versa. Last week or 2 weeks ago, SpaceX launched its Starship, and we were able to see it flying or degrading over the atmosphere in Old San Juan. And it took about 10 minutes from Texas to Puerto Rico. As for the space environment, Puerto Rico, the space environment has unique conditions of microgravity, vacuum state, and low radiation. And it's an ideal setting for advanced bioscience, R&D, and in-space manufacturing. As for Earth observation, space technology is vital for monitoring the environment, climate, and resources. It offers insights into the effects of rising sea levels on our communities and economy. As for the Puerto Rico's space stakeholders, excluding academia and R&D organization, we have three. We have the Puerto Rico Aerospace Technology Consortium, aka the Puerto Rico Aerospace Cluster, which is supported by the Department of Economic Development here with Jose Castro. And they foster the collaboration between academia, industry, and government. We also have the Council for Aerospace and Aeronautical Industry of Puerto Rico, aka the Puerto Rico Space Council, which its main members are the directors of the agencies in Puerto Rico and for civilians, which I am one of those. And it's to foster the economic growth of the island, and is supported by the Ports of Authority. And recently, the Puerto Rico Space Foundation is a community-led organization, and its main leaders are Puerto Ricans in diaspora, retired from the NASA. And we have here Gina Morales, one of our co-founders. As for the attributes for Puerto Rico, ideal for a space hub, we do have a strong aerospace presence, excellence engineering services, academia. We have the infrastructure. We have the industry in manufacturing and pharmaceuticals. And we also have the government cash and tax incentives. Besides, we do have an excellent geographical location for space industry, since first of all, we're near the equator for launching, it's more efficient, and we're close to the United States, where most of the space industry is based. So now
finally, it's my turn. This is a very heavy slide, but the whole idea about it is that Puerto Rico has a very diversified economy, and you can see that manufacturing is the biggest one. And within that is pharmaceutical. If you look at on that would be your right side, you see that research in orbit. The biological and pharmaceutical is the biggest one. So there's a synergy between the research that has been done right now and our pharmaceutical. So there's the whole initiative currently that the pharmaceutical not only do manufacturing, but then now they're pushing into doing research. And that research could be done in zero-G gravity. Next. Again, here you can see the bioscience and manufacturing. We got 11 of the top 20 manufacturers, pharmaceuticals here in the island. And you can see also the cluster that's all over the island. Next. In addition, we have the aerospace and defense cluster. On the previous two slides, after pharmaceutical, the next research was technology. Any type of technology has to do with aerospace or in defense. So again, we have a synergy in what's it been doing. Next. Here you can see some of the companies that we already have here in the island. Honeywell Aerospace, Raytheon Technology, which is the latest one. Pratt & Whitney, Lockheed Martin. I know that this afternoon there are some panels in which Honeywell Aerospace, Pratt & Whitney, and Lockheed Martin will be available. So take a trip and go there. Next.
As for space-related initiatives, this is mostly academia and R&D. For the Advanced Research Grant Space Edition, this is a collaboration between the Science Trust and Rodius Scientific. It's a $300,000 grant to take our industry to space. Furthermore, we have the University of Puerto Rico Mayagüez campus that are doing high-power rockets. They're developing thrusters. And with Almica Rincon, he was a former professor at Interamerican University, and now he's at Collins Aerospace. Through him and his organization, we launched the first Puerto Rican CubeSat in 2021. And this year, the Mars Challenge 2030, it's a collaboration between Caribbean University and Richard Duca they also are collaborating with Ecuador and other Latin American countries. This is a slide with a lot of text, but basically we do have the attributes in Puerto Rico for a space hub. We got COS, which is the Center for Aerospace Unmanned System, which is led by Sheila, also from UPR de Mayagüez. We do also have the Center for Advanced Radio Science Engineering. Once the Arecibo observatory collapsed, they were able to get some NSF grants to continue with radio research. We have so many more initiatives. And here in the last one, we have the NASA EPSCoR and Rapid Response Research by Dr. Gerardo Morel, which he has been doing over 10 decades of scientific research in the ISS. And now with the spaceport.
So here you can see that the location of the spaceport is on the East Coast, and we are in parallel 18. That means that we are very near from the equator. That means that when you shoot a rocket from here, you would need less fuel in order to get to orbit. That means that you can then put more payload in the rocket. Next. Here, operators developer, there's a request for proposal that closed about a month ago, and they should be evaluating the different developers operator. These are some of the companies: AECOM, Upcore, Maritime Launch Services, North Star Spaceport, Maddox Defense. These are some of them. There are more. They probably, what they did is these companies got interested. They do different things for the spaceport. So they conglomerated. And now there are two operators that provided the RFP. So once they decided, you would know.
Hopefully by next year, in January, we're gonna know who's gonna be the developer of the spaceport.
At the same time, the FAA license should be October next year. And here you can see some conceptual drawing of the spaceport. This is just a conceptual. And very important is that the law in Puerto Rico, there's a section of the law that provided tax exemption to all the activity on the spaceport. So under Code Act number 60, you can be eligible for a preferential tax rate of 4% corporate income tax for 15 years. So if you are doing some kind of space-related R&D, advanced manufacturing, payload transportation and assembly, launching of spacecraft, and satellite communication and data processing, all those activities qualify for the tax exemption. Also, very important, you can get a 50% tax credit on all the expenses on R&D completed here in Puerto Rico. What it means is, for every dollar you spend in R&D, you get back 50% tax credit. This tax credit is very flexible because you can sell it to other companies that pay taxes in Puerto Rico. You recover that money, 100% exempt. You reuse it again for R&D.
So thank you very much. Please scan this code. There's more information. This will take you to the Puerto Rico Space Foundation website under resources. Here we have different reports that was produced for Don Graves, the Deputy Secretary of the Department of Commerce. I'm talking about the 2023 Puerto Rico Aerospace and Defense Report. And we also have a couple of presentations regarding the value proposition on why Puerto Rico. And
so now we have some time to take some questions.
Any questions? Oh, it'll take me some time, but I'll get there. Well, I said class was in session. Didn't I say that? I'm learning a lot. I'm learning about the benefits of being in parallel 18. Not only warmer waters, but thinner air. That's something. Who was the question here? Oh, here we go.
Thank you so much. My name is Alok Aruna. I'm from Inter-American University of Puerto Rico. I would like to know from you, what are your initiatives for K-12 education system in terms of the space programs? How do you reach out to the K-12 students? And my second question is, whenever we talk about innovation in Puerto Rico, we always talk about manufacturing, and that was very evident from the slide. What do you think are the factors that stops Puerto Rico from becoming a global leader in research, for example, in space biology or space research?
For the first question, what we're doing with the high school students, well, actually we have an initiative with NAF. This is a national organization. And basically we are creating what we call engineering academies at high school level. Also, there's another initiative to do the same thing for IT academy. So we're doing that. Right now we have one in Aguadilla, one in the south. The Department of Education now decided on 5 additional schools. So what we're trying to do is to get our students interested in engineering and information technology. So when they get to university, they will know what they want. You know, it happened to me that I went to university. I said, what am I going to take? All right, I took chemical engineering. After the 3 years, I didn't like chemistry. So I end up, obviously, in technology. So in order for this not to happen to our students, we want them to know exactly what type of career they want. And we have to start early in the time. Okay, and the second question, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna add to the education part. The Puerto Rico Space Foundation recently started a pilot program to give to school at no cost a mini microgravity tower for students to start thinking about what possible R&D they can do in microgravity. So if you can also support this initiative, we started with the Palmas Academy over Humacao. We have an MOU, and we are hopefully some of the local industry support this initiative.
And the second part of the question was, when we think about bringing something new to Puerto Rico, we always try to link it with manufacturing. You see Puerto Rico becoming a hub of manufacturing. But what do you see are the bottlenecks for for Puerto Rico to become a research leader in space sciences?
Again, yes, actually we told you that we created the law, Act 60, in order to incentivize R&D through the R&D tax credit. And again, yes, we are moving from manufacturing in order to start from the research. So instead that research is done in the US, we can conduct the research here in Puerto Rico. So yes, we are incentivizing that. Is there anything else?
No, I'm good.
All
Anything
right.
else?
No more questions?
We got 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, I have to add, in terms of education from K to 12, there's a great opportunity when it comes to specialized schools in the island. We have a program, it's unique to Puerto Rico, which is specialized schools. We have them in cinema, we have them in production, we have them in arts, in languages. What about STEM? There's an opportunity for cross-sectioning collaboration between the Department of Education and you guys.
Definitely, yes.
Definitely. Like I said, we are doing it already with those academies, both in the engineering and information technology, because those are the areas that the industry has tell us that they need personnel. With that, thank you so much.